The last time, either Divyadi or I, famed shoplifters of pens, chocolates and newspapers, and later, even filching hard cash, had been caught stealing was 3 years ago, when we stole 300 rupees from the shagun envelopes at our second cousin's wedding. We were then banned from attending the other functions. But I've heard the paneer wasn't anything to write home about, and the ice cream had finished an hour before the fairas. In my defense, I'm a much better thief than thee. The debacle was all her fault, although she can jump, run, kick and punch her way better than me. That was the last time thee and I ever stole at a wedding. Mama would not let us out of her sight, but neither Mama or Papa has ever scolded us for finding things with us that we didn't know. Everyone steals, says Papa, who has always been at the receiving end of thievery. So the two of us are just trying to balance the scales little by little. Mama was arguing with an auntie from the neighborhood when I got back home from my largely disappointing first day in college, which chiefly comprised of filling up one form after another, being polite to seniors and watching boys and girls trying to fall in love at first sight. The stitches have come apart. The auntie groused loudly. It was perfect when I gave it to you. You must have gained weight, Bhabiji, said Mama. But fine, I will stitch it again. It'll cost 40 rupees. Before the auntie could protest, Mama said, with a strategic touch on the auntie's arm and a kind look in her eyes, "You're my friend. What kind of a person would I be if I don't give you a special rate? This doesn't always work." Thee tells me that she had seen Mama being spat on, pushed around, her sewing machine smashed, and on one occasion slapped around by a few aunties on the allegation, which is probably true, that she steals cloth. And even if she didn't steal, there's no denying that it's Mama's cunning and tenacity that have paid for these and my schooling. Mama has 2 part-time tailors, Iqbal and Altaf, working for her. Mama often says she owes her entire business to these 2 men. But they are never allowed inside her house on Dadaji's and Buaji's instructions. They drink out of earthen tumblers, which he have to break after they use. At least Altaf Chachu can come inside. He always gets nutcut and kishmish toffees for me. I often protested when I was little. I saw them so often that I grew up believing that Altaf was my cousin Chachu. I didn't care much about Iqbal, who never came bearing toffees. Your Buaji and Dadaji don't like them because they are Muslims, Mama often used to say. Buaji and Dadaji like no one, not even us, I would reply. It was later that I realized that their hatred towards Altaf and Iqbal stemmed from not only the fact that they were Muslims, but also that they belonged to lower caste Hindu families which had converted to Islam 2 generations ago. Exhausted by the indignity they had suffered at the hands of upper caste Hindus. As for Dadaji's hatred towards us, it had to do with the fact that Papa, the eldest son in the family, had chosen to marry Mama, a lower caste woman. Papa had betrayed Dadaji, a proud, jingoistic Brahmin, who had spent his youth defending the exalted position of Brahmins, their pure blood and the need for untouchability in Mohyal meetings across the state. Mama and us had put him in quite an awkward position. Our relatives, which is another word for blood-sucking monsters, have never failed to point that out to Divyadi and me, even when we were too young to understand any of this. "Look at your sisters. You get your complexion from your father," they used to say. "You're lucky to not get anything from your ma. Look at your father, white like milk, and your mother, chee chee." But Papa is a langada.